In this lesson, we will study about containers and container adapters in C++ STL. So let's see what are containers. Containers are objects that handle a collection of other objects or elements, and these implement a well-defined data structure. And you must be familiar with some of these. These are pretty popular containers like vectors, stacks, queues, and so on. And it's very difficult to write an effective code without the use of some of these containers. So let's see a broad classification of these containers. So at a high level, you can classify them into sequence containers and associative containers. And these associative containers can further be classified into ordered and unordered. So first, let's see what are sequence containers. So here, the storage of data elements is done inside these containers. So actually data elements are stored here, whereas in the associative containers, these implement associative arrays, which have a notion of pairs where there is a key and there is one actual value. So we are interested in the actual value, but we access them or store them with the use of some key. And you can argue that in sets, we don't have values, we have just keys. So there the data itself is acting as the key. And in the map case, we have key and value pairs. And some of the examples here would be like vectors, stacks, queues, list, decks, and we also have array. So there is a difference between std array and std vector. These are fixed size, these are dynamic size. We will study about all of these in more detail. Now let's see what are associative containers. So these are the containers that implement associative arrays, which I said there is a notion of key and the actual data. So here we store or access elements in these sequence containers with the help of their position or index. But in the case of associative containers, we store as well as fetch the stored data with the help of key. So these can be ordered, these can be unordered. So the difference lies in their underlying implementations. So in ordered case, there is a notion of order, and these are implemented with the help of balanced binary search trees. And when you do an in-order traversal of a binary search tree, then we see that elements are printed in ascending order, sorted order. So the ordering comes from that. And if the tree is balanced binary search tree, then if it has n elements, then the height of this will be of the order of log n. And in binary search trees, all the different operations are of the order of height. And in the balanced case, it's log n. So the different operations are of the order of log n. In the unordered case, these are implemented using hash tables. So order is not guaranteed. And here the expected operation time is O of 1 for most of the operations. So in the ordered case, we have set, we have map, we have multi-map, and we have multi-set. So sets and maps do not allow duplicate keys, but multi-map and multi-sets allow duplicate keys. So you can classify it in this way also, singular version or multi-version. But I would rather recommend ordered and unordered, since the underlying implementation is totally different for these two. And in unordered case, we have simply, again we have set map, multi-map, multi-set, but we write them as unordered set, unordered map, unordered multi-set, unordered multi-map. So, and these are implemented using hash tables. So in sets and multi-sets, we don't have associated value with the key. The value itself is acting as the key. In the map and multi-map and unordered map and unordered multi-map, we have key and we have a corresponding value. Now let's see about these different containers in some brief way. We will look at them separately in different lessons in some detail, but here I will give a brief overview of all these different containers that we have talked about. So first one is a vector, and probably one of the most popular and most widely used. And these implement dynamic sized array. So initially you can just create like a vector of, let's say, int v, and as you keep inserting here, its size will be increased if this vector is filled. So it may start with a size of, let's say, 4 or even smaller. And once you do 4 insertions, it may allocate a new array of size 8, copy the first 4 here, so that next 4 push operations will be done within this in constant time. And once this is again full, it will create, one of the ways is to keep doubling. This is just one implementation. It can be different on different distributions. So it will copy these 8 values and then leave 8 empty spaces. So when you call size, it will return actually how many elements you have inserted. But there is a implicit capacity here. So you should be mainly interested in the size. So these are dynamic sized arrays, and these supports random access just like array. So let's say you have 4 elements and you write this v3, then it will directly access the 4th element in constant time. So this random access is supported here. Insertion and deletions of elements are supported, and elements are stored contiguously in memory. So this is one difference from linked list, where you have to follow the stored pointer to find the next location. So here these are stored contiguously, so you can even do index plus plus or iterators we have. So let's forget about iterators for now. So we can increment index by 1, and if index 0 is some element x and y is immediately next to it, then if we do idx plus 1, it will access this one, and these are contiguous. So these are the few things that you should keep in mind. We also have, as I said, array. You can use std array when you know that you will be working with fixed size arrays and it will not change over time. So you can go ahead with array. And then next sequence container is list. So this is the implementation of doubly linked list. So in doubly linked list we have one data, let's say 1, 2, 3. We have one next pointer. We also have a previous pointer. So what is the advantage of this? Here let's say you want to insert or delete from the middle. So in the case of this vector, everything else needs to be shifted. So that is considered O of n time, but in this case you simply need to delete this. So make this next point here and make the previous of this point here, and then clean the memory, this one. So this is gone in O of 1 time. So it does not support random access. You cannot access like the way we access arrays or vectors, and elements are not stored contiguously. So different performance than vector depending on the use case. So here access would be O of n. Let's say I want to access the 10th element, so we have no other way but to start from beginning and reach there. But if we want to delete here or insert, once we have a pointer that I want to insert before this, then it's a constant time thing. And this is also there is also another version of list in C++ that is called forward list. This is the simple list you will use, std list, and these are all template classes. So you can specify the type here, and here it's forward list. So this forward list is implementation of singly linked list. So only next pointer is there. Then the next container is deck. So it's implementation of double-ended queue. So double-ended queue means you have a queue and you can insert from this side as well as this side. You can remove from this side as well as this side. A normal queue is where you insert from one end and remove from other end. So it supports push and pop operations at both the ends, and elements are not all stored contiguously in memory, but rather these are implemented as chunks of contiguous data. So let's say you have a deck of 1000 elements, so maybe 100 elements are contiguous like an array, and then next 100 are at some different location, but these 100 chunks are again contiguous. So there may be different implementation, but these are typically like this. So you can think of its performance somewhere between the vectors and the lists. And also these serve as a stack or queue, and we will shortly look at container adapters and then we will talk about this. So these are container definitions for these two in C++ STL in the form of container adapters for stacks and queues. These can be implemented using deck. So now let's see about container adapters. So these are interfaces that implement a special functionality on top of sequence containers. So let's say you have this deck and this supports push and pop at both ends. And let's say you want to use it as you want to use its functionality to implement another interface for a stack. So in a stack, we know that we can push at this end and also pop from the same end. So at the same end, we have to use push and pop. So what we will do, this is the front of the queue. So we will not use this one. We will just enable this one, these two functionalities of the deck, and then it will now act as a stack because you are pushing at this end, and when we pop, we will pop this immediately pushed element. So it will be converted to LIFO. So here we are using the functionality of deck to act as another container called stack. So the interface for a stack is different. It just exposes push and pop operations, whereas it will expose push front, push back, pop back, these kind of things. So this is acting as a container adapter. So stack supports push pop at one end. The ideal choice for underlying container, there can be different containers using which you can implement this stack, but a natural choice would be deck, although you can use vectors or list also for this purpose. Then we have a queue. Again, in queue, what is the difference? You insert at one end and remove from other end. So again, you can use a deck. It supports all these four operations. So just use push at one end and pop at other end. So this can be act like a queue. So again, deck is a natural choice, but you can use vector and lists also. Then we have priority queue. So it supports operation of a queue, but one thing is that it always dequeues the maximum element, or rather element with the highest priority, not maximum. So naturally it's performed by an array-based data structure called heap. So the underlying container is usually vector. So default would be vector. You can leave it if you are using priority queue. You can use it like this, priority queue, and we specify the container. So here you can have a vector of int, then int, the actual data type, and you can also define how you are comparing the priority. So here you can use vector as a container adapter. So all of these underlying container options are possible because container adapters are templates too. So you can provide different underlying containers. Now let's look at some of the associative containers. So first one is set. So we also have unordered set. So we are talking about both ordered and unordered version. And these are model of mathematical set. So in mathematics, we have a set. We are not allowed to have duplicates. So collection of unique elements that serve as keys. So these are acting as keys. All the associative containers will have some key. So here value themselves are acting as key. So ordered sets are implemented using balanced binary search trees, and unordered versions are implemented using hash tables. And there are also multi-sets and multi-unordered sets. So in this case, the keys are not unique. We can have multiple or duplicate keys. So we have four possibilities: set, unordered set, multi-set, multi-unordered set. So 2 cross 2, 4 possibilities are there for set. Similarly, we have a map, and again 4 possibilities are there: map, unordered map, multi-map, and multi-unordered map. So these are set of pairs. So here we will be using the keys for all the storing and accessing the values, but actual data will be stored in the value. So these are key value pairs. And by pair we mean 2 tuples. So we have x, y. So this is a pair. We have 2 tuples. First one is in this case key, second one is value. And it again has 4 versions, which I have already said. So I hope you got some good overview of different containers in STL. In future lessons, we will look at different ways of accessing the values in these containers. We will study about iterators and different types of iterators. And later we will study about all of these containers one by one in some detail. And also in the later part of this series, we will study about different algorithms in these STL implementations.